Senor game design.
Senor game designer.
Senor Gamesman.
Sav Gamesman.
Sav Gamesman. Oh, yes. So good, man.
Good gamesman.
Good gamesman. Great good gamesman. Senor.
Senor good gamesman.
That's awesome. So, what's your title at this company?
Senor
Wow.
good gamesman.
Shit.
Hey, welcome to episode 39 of Front Seat Gamer. I'm Nick. I'm here with Saveun.
Hey.
And Blake.
Hey.
How you guys going?
Good.
Good.
It took a little while to get in there.
It did. We've attempted this intro a
There's
number
a few
of
revs
times.
of the engine.
Some people were disruptive, insubordinate, churlish. What have you guys been playing?
Like dude, I've been playing way too much Rocket League.
Yeah?
I clocked.
Have they updated it? Any new stuff?
They did, and I checked Steam and I put over 200 hours into that game.
Whoa.
It's fantastic.
How many hours does Steam say you've put into Grand Theft Auto?
About 30.
Really?
Yeah.
Steam, I find Steam's played hour thing quite untrustworthy.
Yeah.
There are some games that I feel like I've literally put 200, 300 hours into, and it says 17 hours. And I'm like, yeah, nah. Team Fortress 2, for example, I put hundreds of hours into that, and it's yeah, you've played 30 hours.
Oh, man.
Well,
there's games like Dark Souls that I'll leave it on the start menu for ages and walk away and then come back, and so that changes the amount played.
Yeah, I don't know how they track it. It's real strange.
Wouldn't it just be a simple...
When it's running?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I would have thought.
Yeah, that's what I think, yeah.
I assume they have to report to the server every so often, and maybe if you've got network issues.
Yeah, actually, probably. Yeah. So Rocket League?
It's still good. I really enjoy that. Oh, new season started up, so we're all unranked right now. So we're just all trying to get placing.
Are there prizes at the top? Or is there a reason to rank up?
There might be. I think it's just for, they're going down that whole microtransaction hats approach. And so you actually win,
You win hats? For your car?
Yeah, you
car
get
hats?
cool hats. Cool. And different, nitro boost skins or whatever.
Nice.
Do you ever see, with the skins and stuff, do you ever play against opponents and you see their skins or their effects and be like, damn, I want to get that?
No.
Yes,
that's what I thought.
I don't really care.
I think it's just for you, right?
Yeah,
you just look at it and go, damn, I look good.
But they are doing some cool things where, before when you'd win or a team would win, it would it would display the results and then it would just load up into another game.
Yeah.
Now when it loads the results, the scoreboard, it actually has the winning team displayed on screen, full screen actually, and you can actually jump around and spin in the air. So it's like a podium type thing, but with your cards, and it will actually rank you and say what kind of how you played throughout the game.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah, so
so you
another
can
way to show off your
jump
cards.
around and stuff. And
You can, you do flips.
Dude, that's cool.
You're static. You're in place, but you can jump around. You do flips.
Oh wow!
A lot of people like to spin around in circles while boosting.
Yeah,
and look like a rocket or something.
Oh man. That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, so they're doing some really cool stuff there.
Yeah.
Nice.
New tracks.
Overwatch has a similar thing where it shows the winning team, and you can buy poses, winning victory poses, so you can have different poses for your victory.
I was gonna say it would be interesting if in Rocket League, for example, you could buy a specific victory word or something. So it's winner, and it's all bright orange because you like orange or something.
Yep. Get a mascot.
Yeah, something that'd be and you get to shove it in your opponent's face. So
you were saying before that there's some interesting updates coming with there was the ice hockey one. Yep. And I think you said there was basketball.
Yeah, basketball came out a month ago, I think.
That's crazy.
Basketball is crazy. Basketball is really different because, soccer's just played on the ground. It's cool if you just roll up roll the ball around because the goal's on the ground.
Yeah.
But the way they did basketball is that there's a ramp in front of the hoop.
Oh, okay.
And so the ball, if it's actually rolling, it can actually roll up the ramp. But you can't actually make contact with this ramp. It only affects the ball.
Huh.
So
you just drive through it.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay, I get it. So
so there is a massive hoop.
Yeah.
And it's just basketball. It's cool because you can. It's all about double jumping. So it flips the whole Rocket League thing on its head because it's all like in the air now.
Yeah.
So a game like League of Legends, they have their standard mode, which is like 5v5 in the 3-lane large map, and they had a 3v3 mode that was not nearly as popular, and then they introduced I think it was called Dominion, which was another 5v5 mode on a circular map that was around capturing points and accumulating points.
That's cool. With the
but ultimately that was not nearly as popular as well. They kept introducing they kept trying new game modes that didn't ever really seem to catch on and didn't garner enough support for them to keep supporting it.
Did they, with the 3v3, was the map changed?
Yeah, different map.
Like how was it much smaller, less lanes, that kind of thing?
Entirely new map, 2 lanes, much smaller, yeah. And it also fundamentally changed the game balance because like quite tanky characters do well when there's fewer players.
Yeah.
So in a game like Rocket League, I'm curious, with the introduction of like the basketball mode, have you noticed that like is that an extremely popular mode? Or is the standard soccer mode super popular and this is just like a niche?
Yeah,
a few players do it when they're bored, whatever.
The ice hockey, the basketball, they're all like secondary. They're kind of garbage. If you really want to play competitive Rocket League, you want to just play the normal like fields.
It's interesting.
What do you think is next? Is it rugby?
Shit,
egg-shaped ball?
Dude, I think
pool.
I think Rocket League is fantastic. Just as football.
Here's one.
Yeah.
Darts, and you have to run your car into the dartboard.
Oh shit, bowling. It's bowling actually.
Oh, bowling, and
you've
just
only
run.
got boost up until the line, and then you have the coaster.
Oh man.
I'd play it.
Yeah.
Skateboarding. It's just a half pipe.
Oh shit.
Ooh, that would be cool if you had to do tricks and stuff.
Yeah.
That'd be neat. Except it's solo, so it's a bit weird. So that game's interesting. I'm glad they've got that victory screen because if they're trying to monetize through microtransactions, it seems like that's a game where you're looking at your character far more, like and in much more higher detail than anyone else's. A game, I'll use League of Legends again as the example. You see your opponent constantly, and you're sharing a lane with like an opponent or two.
Yeah, because you're looking at them.
Yeah,
a lot more.
And yeah, actually, you probably look at them a lot more than you even look at your own character because you want to make sure that you're aware of where everything is. So it's an interesting. I imagine for that game it's quite tricky to find that balance where like this is something you want because you want other people to see it when you're usually like a tiny dot on their screen.
But also it is just cool to see like to kind of get a bit of showboating in there,
Yeah, but how effective is that when you're spend so little time looking at your opponent's cars?
Oh well, that's why the victory
screen seems to be a good.
I think because you can get different colored boosts and different types of like boosts and stuff. I think those definitely like you see your opponents boosting more than like you see what hat they're wearing or what color they are. So like I reckon that's probably the best way to like show off to others is just like, oh man, I've got like this amazing awesome boost effect, and everyone's like, whoa, look at that boost effect.
Dude, some people do have really cool boosts, and like some of the newer ones actually have musical tunes.
Oh
like,
man,
so some guy will be passing you and playing some stupid chime.
Oh man.
So yeah, that's fully a thing.
Can you change the ball?
No.
So here's an interesting idea, and send me some money, Rocket League developer, when you eventually implement this. You get to buy a microtransaction ball, and the winning team's ball is in play.
Oh, shit.
Or, alternatively, it's just like if multiple people have ball microtransactions, it's just a lottery between.
Oh, man.
But like you could have a ball made of money. And it
dude, you
like
totally
a cash
could.
trailer or
money
whatever.
ball.
Yeah, exactly. A money ball.
You could have a hamster in a ball.
Ooh, I like that. And if it's still for too long, it just starts rolling around on its own.
Well, I don't think the ball is ever still, so it's just always.
Hamster in a ball is a great one.
A goldfish in a ball, like that would be pretty easy to do too.
What about like a goal microtransaction? Could you do anything there? No.
Oh, hey, like a victory type thing.
No, I mean like your actual goal is like you get to change the color or the net. Or whatever.
I kind of like how
even a victory thing is quite interesting.
Yeah, the victory thing would be badass. Say if you hit the ball into the goal and it did your own microtransaction explosion or something.
That'd be neat.
Because you like changing the goal itself is probably not a great idea. But when you do get a goal, there's usually like an explosion to signal that there's a goal.
Right. Yeah.
So having a microtransaction explosion.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, like fireworks or confetti or whatever.
Yeah.
That'd be neat. It feels like there are a lot of different. They're taking the very basic route. It sounds like to me. I feel like there's a lot more room they could to investigate ways to allow players to customize their games in much more visually appealing ways.
Mm-hmm.
Was that game free when you got it?
It was on PlayStation Plus.
Yeah, that's how they got so popular, right? They had like
they have an awesome GDC talk about their success, but it was they had that they attempted this like years ago on PS3, and it didn't really work out, and it was kind of awesome because they tried a whole bunch of things and Rocket League worked out for them really well.
Because that was basically the same game, right, on PlayStation 3. That just didn't catch on for anyone.
I'm not sure what went into that first game, but the name of it alone is enough to
what was it?
Not.
It wasn't
it
Rocket
was like
League.
Supersonic Acrobatic something cars.
Oh yeah.
It was. It's
Jesus.
It's like 20 syllables.
Oh man. It probably had a sweet like. Oh damn it! What are they called?
But one of the things.
Yes, a sweet acronym.
One of the things that made Rocket League good. Well, they couldn't get 60 frames a second on PS3. Which was like, so it was technically it wasn't. It didn't look great and it played poorly. So
even F-Zero X could get 60 frames per second. What was happening on PlayStation 3?
Physics, maybe too much physics happening.
Yeah, that's what it is. Too much physics.
Too much physics.
Too many physics.
Too many physics is happening
on screen.
Yeah,
you've got at least 20 physics is happening.
I mean, you need to make that. That ball like a hexagon type thing.
Yeah. Oh, just die,
dude.
Yeah.
One cool thing about
D20 or something.
Yeah.
One cool thing about Rocket League, it's not actually physics.
It's not.
No.
How is it not?
Because you can't actually make angle the ball certain ways.
Yeah.
What?
Like physics is way too unpredictable in a video.
Yeah, that's why I thought it was physics because I hit the ball and I don't know which way it's going to go.
Like your car is pretty much a cube.
Yeah.
Right, and so the ball.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
The hitbox on the car is not realistic physics. It's just
your car silhouette doesn't actually influence the ball in any way. It's a box, and you'll notice that the ball it won't actually. There are limits that it actually travels.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that was mind blowing.
Here's you mentioned D20. Here's a game mode, D&D version where it literally is a D20 and you're doing like combat rolls against each other.
And you got like on top of your cars you have like cardboard cut out like orcs.
Yeah.
That flap around.
Man, that sounds awesome.
What have you been playing?
You've been playing D20
and D20
Rocket League.
Oh, actually, we have been rolling some dice.
Oh yeah, dude, what a seg.
Oh yes. Oh
Sweet
yes.
seg.
Let's talk about you guys have been playing Kingdom Death Monster.
Yeah.
I believe that's what it's called. Now, first of all, that's the hardest name to remember.
Yep.
It's a miracle I remembered it this time.
All of us playing it could never remember what it was, and we all kept saying different combinations of those three words to each other for like 2 weeks.
My understanding is Kingdom Death is like the franchise name, and Monster is the particular game you're playing.
Yeah.
Kingdom Death is like the style of model or something. I don't know.
I think their
universe?
website is just like kingdomdeath.com, I think, and they do like what do they call themselves? Like a miniature boutique or something. So they do like really cool miniatures and stuff.
My understanding is it's basically it's a party monster fighting board game, but with tons of randomization and this sort of cyclical nature where like you beat a monster, you get some resources to build up a village. To beat the next monster or whatever.
Yeah, so if you looked at it, the board is just basically a big arena.
Yeah.
And there are tiles that you put down, like pillars and stuff in this arena, and then you fight a monster as a team. And that sounds like pretty easy, right? And initially I thought that's what it was going to be, just a series of monster battles, right, with these characters. But then there's this whole sort of storyline where I guess like the DM is actually like this book that you go through. Like after every fight, you then start a settlement phase where you're running a settlement, and the characters that you have are not like they're not as permanent as like in D&D.
Right. In D&D, you are this person.
Yeah, you are that
playing
character,
as this person,
and you're invested in that character.
When that person dies, that's it.
Yeah. In this, like when your character dies, you have this settlement with a population, and you take a new person from that population, and then you make a new character out of them.
And now you're that person.
Yeah, now you're that person. Dead. And and it's got like a lot of random elements and events and stuff that pop up, like and it's sort of, I've heard it described as the Dark Souls of board games.
It's ridiculously punishing, and it's like a lot of random stuff. That I believe you went mad and killed another character.
Yep, I went mad and killed another character. Carl, on his very first game, made his character, took time thinking up a name, awesome, like geared
he
him
called
out.
it awesome.
Oh, I can't remember what he called, but geared him out and was like, all right, I'm ready to play this.
Yep.
The first event happens, and some mysterious like face opens up in the ground of the settlement, and Carl decided you had a bunch of options, and one of them was to like look inside and you roll a dice to see what happens. Mm-hmm. Carl looked inside, rolled a dice, the mouth closed and killed him.
Wow. That was the first thing
that
happened.
that was his first character. Within the first like minute of gameplay, lost his first character and had to start a new one.
Man, does he play every time with you?
Every once in a while, yeah.
Okay. Is it the sort of the game where you have your party, you've got your group of people, and you want to stay consistent between plays?
You kind of do, but because of the whole like population thing, you can actually just have multiple people coming in and out. Like the game is balanced around 4 people,
right?
But
if someone needs to sit out,
someone needs to sit out. Somebody else can come in and they take one of the population,
right,
and make a new character out of them. There are times though that like if you don't play, especially when the population starts getting low, where there's no more like blank canvas character type things, and it's all like named characters. If you don't play, there is a chance that you may come in the next day and your character has been murdered or killed off because the group playing want to keep their characters alive, and if your character is not playing, then we're going to have to just sacrifice.
Easy pickings.
Yeah. And that's happened a few times, where someone has not played and then they've
come back to find that everything's dead.
Yeah.
Right. Fun.
But it's cool, and the miniatures, like, they are the most extreme things I've ever seen.
They are gorgeous and messed up. They are like, I don't quite know how to describe them. They often take like typical monster tropes and then sort of
they have a twist on them,
gross them up a bunch.
Yeah,
add some genitals, add some mouths and eyes. Call it a day.
There's there's a phoenix that is pretty good. It's one of the biggest miniatures there.
So not really miniature.
Not really miniature.
Just an average. Sure.
It's pretty massive, and you're just like, oh yes, cool phoenix.
Yeah.
And then you turn around, you turn around and look at its butt.
Yeah.
And there's like hands like trying to claw themselves out of its butt.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're just like, what is this game?
Yeah. I know. One of the figures was like a tree. There was like a tree, and like some of the branches are just tentacles. Some of them are some of the roots are just like dongs. It's just like
there's some really
what looks like a branch or a root that we can put on there. Dong, tentacle.
There's some
spear, whatever.
Talking about dongs.
Yeah.
In the last fight we had, Mark II. What? Neon Spider.
Yeah.
Some people might know him.
Yeah.
We were fighting a lion, and Mark II didn't attack. And the way it works is that the monsters have an AI deck, which they draw a card from, and then they
do that
move. Yeah, and each person takes a turn being the monster controller.
Interesting.
Which doesn't really affect the game all that much.
Really? I mean, do they get to determine like movement or anything? Couldn't you?
Like you do, but you do, but quite often the card just tells you what to do anyway.
Right.
So the card will say like the target is like the furthest in range, and you're like, well, I have no. If you had a choice of two people who are equal distance, then you as the monster controller would then choose which one.
Yeah.
But if usually there isn't, so you're just like, well, that's my target.
Doesn't this sort of potentially isn't there a conflict of interest there when the player, like one of the players is also the monster?
Yeah, there is, but if you are the monster controller and the monster attacks your character, that gives you a resource called insanity.
Okay.
Which you need, which is kind of like armor for your mind.
Of course.
Like so the hit points kind of thing is like you have like armor stuff. So you you have like regular like like armor, suit of armor, and and shirts and that's stuff.
Suit, not quite as protective as a suit of armor.
Well, at the moment, all we've got is like jerkins and stuff, so which are not.
That's a funny word.
Yeah, but you've got that, and they have like armor rating, and you write the armor rating down on these like body locations.
Yeah,
and for the mind, there is insanity, and so. The more insane you become, the actual more like mind protection you have.
Sure.
But the thing is, if you get too insane, you'll end up just dying from insanity. So you want to keep like a balance of like about halfway being like pretty insane, but like not dangerously insane. And like I had a character that had no insanity or very low insanity and just died because of like mind damage. Yeah.
Okay. So there is a vague advantage to attacking yourself.
Yeah. So
monster,
if you attack yourself, you get one insanity, which is like a little bit helpful. But yeah, where was I going with this?
So you're playing doing a battle.
Yeah, we were doing a battle, and when you the monster does its AI thing or whatever, and when the players attack, if they get a successful attack, they draw a hit damage card, which like has a part of the body that the player is attacking.
Yep.
And if the player, it'll say as well like what happens when the player is successful, which is usually a card is taken out of the monster's AI deck.
Yep.
So the AI deck also works as their health.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it's like the way it was described to me is like as you're damaging it, it's getting dumber.
Yeah, it's losing its capability.
Yeah. Which is kind of cool, I think.
Yeah.
But there's also like consequences for failing. So it can, if you fail to actually damage it after, if you fail to wound it, then it will do like a retaliation or something. There'll be something. Usually something bad will happen. Sometimes it's nothing. Sometimes you just miss. But a lot of the time, it attacks back or something. And sometimes if you do a crit on it, you'll get a special. Like something special will happen that's usually in your benefit. There's this one time Mark II attacked this lion.
Yep.
And he attacked it in its fuzzy groin.
Okay.
Yeah.
As opposed to its non-fuzzy groin, which is a different spot.
And so what happened was he ended up rolling a crit on that, which meant that he gained the resource. What's it? Lion's nuts or something like that. So he just had it, and then what happened then was that the lion, Mark II was then marked as the priority target. Yeah. So the lion will always go for him no matter what.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. So he just started running around the arena, keeping it at a distance. Yeah. So this lion would just always chase him around.
Neat. That's pretty funny.
Yeah. So
I want to play this.
Yeah.
You jerks. Never invite me. It's fine.
Join in the next game. So this is also like the second campaign we're doing.
Yeah.
And do you want to talk about what happened at the end of the last campaign?
I wasn't actually there. It was yeah.
So the first campaign we started, we basically started on hard mode because you get a choice during your first setting up your settlement if you want to nurture or what was the other one?
I don't know, but in my mind it was a Spartan.
Yeah, we called it the Spartan way, which meant that any child born, it was harder to have children, but the children that were born
were harder,
were tougher.
Yeah, you had like special stats.
Yeah, which was sounded good at first, but it also meant that we hardly ever had any new people.
Right.
So our settlement population was always super low, so I felt like most of the time we were kind of circling the drain of that. We were barely keeping our heads above water during that whole campaign. Like losing people was a real blow. Yeah. But we managed to start like scraping along, and we got to the Phoenix fight, which was like the biggest fight that we'd had, and it ended like really epically. Like there was the four of us started. This Phoenix like took out three of us.
Yeah.
I was the last one to kill it.
Yeah.
But I was like moments away from dying as well.
Did you crit a 10 butt?
No, I didn't, but I did crit it.
Okay.
My weapon, as I was fighting it, my weapon broke, and so then I was like punching it, and then I punched it. The last attack, I happened to get a crit on a part of its body that would instant kill it, and its head exploded, and so it was a really epic like story, like
because you punched it in its 1 week spot.
Yeah, it exploded.
Yeah,
but like the whole party gets wiped out, and we're like barely scraping through, and then we finally win with this like epic ass moment. And we went back to the settlement. Only I was the only survivor, and we were basically running out of
time to repopulate the.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. We had to repopulate, and we had like very, very few people left. And because we chose the Spartan way, when you roll for you basically take disadvantage on a roll, so you roll twice and take the lowest.
Yeah.
So the whole settlement went into repopulation.
Yeah.
And everybody died trying to repopulate.
Wow. Well, if you're gonna go,
yeah.
it's not a bad.
So
way.
it was like this. It was like this triumphant victory.
Hooray!
We all went back and we all partied so hard that we died. So that was the end of that game. that campaign.
That's how the campaign ended.
That's how it ended. Yeah.
Trying to repopulate the village.
Yeah. Well, there was
Did
actually
you check
like
the genders.
Yeah.
You might have had it impossible.
There was like 2 people left in the settlement. They were both dudes, though.
Yeah,
but
you still tried to repopulate.
Well, no, we couldn't. I mean, you couldn't even attempt to repopulate because one of them had ruined genitals from a previous
Follow
fight.
the lions. It's fine.
Yeah, but that's just such a great game. It's such a great game, and it actually is like terrifying as well. Like you. Like that first campaign, we were
of dread.
Yeah, for sure. Like
cool.
when you fight
every dice roll, man, it's either you're gonna do well or you're not gonna do well.
So here's the thing: when I play these sort of games where everything hinges on a dice roll, it feels a little bit hollow to me because it's like I actually don't get as much of a say here. It's ultimately it's all luck.
I mean, it kind of is, but there is a gradient. So like if you roll a 1, that will usually be either death or like extreme failure.
Yep.
But anything above that isn't too bad. Like you might get some like permanent injuries or something like that, but it's not as binary. It's not pass or fail.
Right.
Also, you have gear. You're not rolling in naked.
But I mean, I assume that regardless of how good your gear is, if you roll a 1. Bad things happen.
Yeah.
Which is to me like I mean I get those can result in some really cool moments and like rolling 20 in those situations can result in some really cool moments and stuff like that. But I still find that situation where it's just like, well, I played optimally. I had the best setup I could possibly have. I rolled a 1 and I lost.
Yeah,
and that's the end of the game.
Yeah, it kind of does sort of suck in that way.
Yeah,
but then again, like. the game sort of teaches you not to be so precious with your characters.
Yeah, it's different to D&D in that sense, where rolling a 1 can result in like permanent bad illness, and you just have to live with it.
And I think like the more we've played, like the more I've sort of learned to be more cautious with what I do.
Yep.
Because there are like epic weapons in that game which are really powerful, but they're if your character dies with them, they can't be recovered. And one of the battles we had, I sort of like charged in with this epic weapon, like very overconfidently, and got myself killed. When like thinking back, I was like, I knew I was like there was a chance I could die in this, but I was like, I've got an epic weapon.
Gung-ho.
Yeah, I was like too confident, and so now in this campaign, I have another epic weapon, and I'm choosing what fights to take it to.
Right.
And during those fights, I'm also being a little more careful with where I stand in regards to that where the monster is, because I know certain attacks will do, that kind of thing.
So you're.
I mean, that is a little bit Dark Soulsy in that way.
Modify your strategy based on experience, and that's cool. But you'll still, there will be times when you roll 1 and you die.
Yeah,
and
for
there's
sure.
Nothing you can do about that.
Here's a good example: is that we had our last game, we encountered a really tough enemy.
Yep.
And there is an option to run away. And throughout the whole match, I was saying, we can't do this. We need to run away. This guy's like too tough.
Yeah.
And then finally, everyone decided to run away. I rolled a 1. My character died.
Yeah.
But again, I didn't take the epic weapon with me because this was a brand new character.
Right.
This was a brand new monster that I'd never fought before.
Right.
And it was a unique monster too, so I was not willing to risk this like epic as weapon.
So you mitigated your losses, but you still.
Yeah. I mean, I still lost.
You still failed on through no fault of your own.
Yeah.
And that's the sort of thing that I find frustrating about this. Like even D&D, like where I find it often breaks my immersion when you're doing a check to see if there's any magical whatever properties around, and you roll a 1, and then your eyes blow out of your head. But then it's like, well, I mean, why did that happen? But that's not going to happen, right?
But I mean, that's up to the discretion of the DM, right?
Well, sure,
like
but
roll...
it's because of the trope of rolling a 1 that the DM does this, right? It's like it. What's more likely in terms of like if this is a game about role playing and the whole point is to immerse yourself in this adventure.
Yeah.
If I fail to find anything magical in a really critical way, it should just be like, well, my senses are numbed for some reason.
Yeah.
Like I've just burnt them out trying too hard or something.
But wouldn't rolling a 1 represent like making a mistake?
It's that's usually the way it is. Right?
Yeah, and I agree. Like in that like situation, if you make what happens if you you're trying to negotiate, you're trying to barter with a merchant, and you make a mistake. What form does that take? In D&D, it can mean like the merchant, you've insulted the merchant and he stabs you, but that's not going to happen.
No.
In if you're talking like if you're picturing Game of Thrones, right? You've got your character. Your character's not going to go up to a merchant and go, "Hey, you big fat idiot, give me a." How about a good deal for that sword?
Yeah. It just means like. I mean, in that case, it would just mean that you failed to haggle so badly that you ended up paying way more than you should. Like, or you shouldn't get stabbed.
He just doesn't want to deal with you anymore.
Yeah.
Like there are more.
He just doesn't like
ways.
the cut of your jib.
And ultimately, this can come down to the D&D, like the DM, but it because I think part of it is this trope of epic failure.
Yeah.
And that to me. It harms my play experience because it's through no fault of your own.
Yeah.
If I said I want to insult the guy into giving me a good deal and then I roll a 1, totally I should get stabbed for that, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I think the thing is the game is kind of like Dark Souls. It is kind of like designed around dying and failing, and like that's sort of part of it.
Yeah. And that's cool. Like I particularly, Rogue Legacy is a great game where dying is part of achieving success, and I love the nature of those games where it's like you make this incremental progress, but you get a fresh experience every so often.
Yeah,
and that's really cool.
And you do, it does have Rogue Legacy elements where the way you keep, even if you die, as long as one person in the party survives that encounter, all the gear is saved.
Right.
Except for any epic weapons, which makes them
seems not very epic for them to just vanish.
Yeah. But I mean, it just makes them more
makes them valuable.
More valuable.
It makes sense to me, and I don't begrudge them for that.
Yeah.
It's just funny to me. Yeah. So that's cool.
And you've been playing as well, right? It's an amazing game.
Yeah. I haven't been. I hadn't had awesome loot as Blake has come across. Like I'm barely there anymore. I think we're playing a whole lot in that first phase.
Yeah, we you and me played quite regularly with that first campaign where we were just like barely keeping it together.
Yeah, like a lot of the reasons were, we could do this.
Yeah,
like we just didn't.
I mean, we totally like. So you have a choice of like hunting these monsters when there isn't a actual like event.
There's no threat currently. You can seek out a threat.
Yeah, you can go hunt a monster, and which is good because after you kill the monster, you harvest his resources, and that's used to make stuff. We'd been hunting like a lion and this screaming antelope thing.
Yeah,
and
screaming antelope.
These were like level 1 monsters, right? But there are like several levels of these like same monsters.
Yeah,
and so we were like, we can hunt
take on a level 2 lion.
Yeah, level 2 lion. It should be easy. It should be nothing. I think everyone died except one person.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now.
And what we got in the end was only like 1 extra resource or something. Like it wasn't even worth the effort.
Have you played many of these sort of tabletop dice roll games before?
Never.
Is this one of your first ones?
I hadn't been doing the D&D or anything
because it doesn't strike me as the kind of game you would typically be into. What did you think of it?
Yeah, it was cool. It's one of those games that's fun to hang out with.
Right. So you think it was more the people and and I think the game was just an excuse to hang out and have a good time.
Yeah, it's just fun bands.
Yeah, and I mean the game has like the game creates so many ridiculous situations that it's just fun.
Man, Nikolai lost his genitals.
There's a lot of genital mutilation in this.
There's
like
a lot of
bunch of
genitals in general.
Yeah.
I've seen the models.
I've
seen them.
Do you want to tell me? Do you want me to tell you about the Nikolai losing his genitals?
Always.
This was just during so when you go to a hunt, there's a tracking phase. So you have this like did
he trip on his balls?
No, it's way worse.
Okay.
You have this these cards that you flip over and they have like events and you can choose what to do, blah blah blah. And then you can choose to roll a dice or not. Kind of thing. So there's a certain amount of risk going into whatever event it is. So we had one event where I think we were just like camping down for the night. Like it was an uneventful day and you just camped down for the night and then it said roll a dice and you're like, oh, this is something bad is going to happen here. Like if you roll low, we were all fine except Nikolai's.
Oh wait, actually, I was in there. I was playing a female character.
Oh, that's right.
And Nikolai was in there. He was playing a male character.
That's right. Yeah, it said all male characters roll a dice, and we were all like, "Oh shit, this is not going to be good." And then so Nikolai ended up rolling low, and which ended up becoming not too bad because he didn't like lose any life for it. But the thing was that some insect.
Is there really a life after?
Yeah, I know.
Go on.
But some insect had crept up into the camp at night and like just stolen his genitals.
This raises a lot of questions.
I think the description was it was just like gone, like there was no gore or anything. It was just like a Ken doll
that just gently scrapes it off.
Yeah.
Also, there's a little
sews you up.
There's a little section on your player card which lists disorders and whatever, and I think it's like, isn't there like an associated depression or something along? with that?
Oh yeah, that's right. He lost that, and then he had to gain a random disorder. So there's a deck of like disorders, and I think he got depression out of that, which is that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
and then he renamed his character to Ken, like the Ken doll. Yeah,
that's pretty funny.
And another just like twist of fate type of thing happened was Nat's character,
Nat is one of the effects artists.
I think I know what you're talking
about. And he is actually his game, right? Nat.
It's his game, which he's bought all the expansions for now, and which is amazing. There's even a Slender Man expansion, which is nuts. But yeah, he had a character that lost a limb.
Yep.
Which was unfortunate. He attacked a screaming antelope with his fists, with his bare hands.
Sure.
And for failing on failing to actually damage it, the repercussion was that whatever weapon he was using would be eaten by the antelope.
Uh-oh.
But if there are no weapons, you lose a limb.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was now one-handed and can only use like one-handed weapons.
Yeah.
He gained one of the most epic weapons in the game that was bound to that character. That was a two-handed sword. And he can't remove it from his inventory.
God.
So it's just this empty. It's just this thing. This is keep taking up space in his.
Is there
inventory.
any possible way to regenerate a limb?
There is, but we weren't sure how. Like we did come across something once. I think
it's with the drums, man.
No, I don't think it's with the drums. We did come across something once that was like regenerating limbs, but I can't remember what it was.
All right. Well, let's move on to the Oculus. Now,
right. Yeah.
You have borrowed an Oculus from Chris.
Yeah.
And you've been home this week claiming that you've got a cold.
Yeah.
And you know what? You sound a little bit...
You can hear me.
You sound a little bit
me
coldy.
now. Yeah.
But let's face it. You want to use the Oculus.
Yeah, I did. I wondered about that too because the other week when I took a week off for vacation, everyone thought I was sick.
Yeah.
And now that I actually am sick...
Everyone thinks you're just taking the day off. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone thinks I'm just taking the time off to play Oculus.
You just lazy
yeah.
So, you've been playing Elite Dangerous.
Yeah, that's the only game I've got that will run on it. And I think that's like the perfect game for it too.
Yeah. And you said you played it for about 4 hours.
Yeah, so yesterday I played it for 4 hours solid.
Jeez.
I was fully immersed. I had headphones on. I had no awareness of the outside world. I had headphones on, but not only that, I found a radio station that basically is role-playing as if it's inside the Elite Dangerous universe.
What?
Yeah, like it's got galactic news and stuff like that is actually happening.
Is this made by the developer, or is this
I think
fan?
I think it's a fan thing.
Wow.
But I mean, it just plays like sort of atmospheric, like space music and space music. But yeah, and then it's got like fake ads for things that are inside the game. But what's cool is that in the game there's like actual it's called Galnet, like Galaxy Network News.
Yeah.
And that's a real thing that's happening. Like the devs, make for the fiction of the game, and It's got like what's happening and stuff like that. And there's this whole like some weird alien stuff is starting to show up. But I can't be bothered reading about all that, even though I think it's interesting.
Yeah.
This radio station fully just
reads it out.
Yeah, just reads it out.
Nice.
I'm like, this is great. So yeah, I was like fully immersed completely for like 4 hours yesterday playing it.
Enjoyable?
Yeah.
Is it a better way of playing that game?
I think it is actually.
Okay.
The only downside is that it's a dev kit 2, which is not HD.
The resolution's quite low.
Yeah. So like reading stuff, like it I think that's what kind of like my eyes did hurt by the end.
4 hours into it.
4 hours. Yeah, like 4 hours into it. Like my eyes did hurt. But partly I feel like maybe that's partly because I got a cold and I'm not at 100% anyway.
You also said you had trouble focusing.
Yes.
After you took it off.
So that
you wear your glasses to look at your computer, which you don't normally have to do.
Yeah. Normally I don't need to do that at all.
Yeah.
So yeah. Afterwards, when I took it off, I went back to playing Elite Dangerous just normally, and yeah, I had weird. I couldn't like quite focus properly on the like I could focus, it just felt weird. Like it's hard to describe. But then I put my glasses on and like my eyes kind of relaxed. Like I think my eyes were like straining too hard or something.
Jeez. So, I got to try it just a little bit before we started recording.
It's unfortunate I couldn't get the controller to work and fly you around, but you got to sit in the cockpit.
Why was that?
I don't know.
Was that related to the
I don't know. Like
Oculus?
Like the controller, my controller normally just like works, but something was in the background
just messing with
messing with it. Yeah.
So, well, either way, one thing that this stuck out to me when I think I used screwed around with a development kit 1 a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And there was like a roller coaster demo.
Yeah, I remember that.
And the thing that stuck out to me then and today was there's no sense of movement, which you obviously can't simulate.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
At least not yet. Not until there's some sort of neural plug-in.
But also, I mean, the thing is, you didn't move.
Sure, but well, I mean, so for in at least in the context of Elite Dangerous, I was moving my head back and forth.
Oh, sure, yeah,
and to the sides, and nothing was shifting.
If I had the because I didn't have the actual like head tracking thing plugged in, and I for some reason I couldn't get the head tracking to work on my computer, so. It, like Elite Dangerous does have like you can lean forward and lean back and
that would help a little bit. Yeah, but I mean, I would if I were piloting a ship, I would expect the sense of like acceleration.
Yep,
which you just can't pull off.
And
there's this disconnect with your middle ear is expecting acceleration, but your senses are picking up no movement, and so it's it feels very disorienting.
There are well, for some reason, like piloting the ship itself, I didn't get any of that weird, like weird feeling where I felt like I should be moving.
Right.
But the thing is, when I landed on a planet and actually hooned around in the little buggy thing, then for sure I had that sort of sensation.
Yeah.
Especially like looking up at, I think it helps to have like something to. Something for scale kind of thing, because the planets themselves are pretty empty,
right?
So it's just like terrain, and I don't really get that feeling of that I should be moving on that. But when I was like driving around my ship in a circle, I definitely felt like I should be feeling like inertia or something, because I had something to kind of like I don't know. Anchor me to the world, kind of thing.
You had a track that helped you place your speed, your rate of movement. Basically.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like you can't really tell how fast you're going in space, and I don't know. I very rarely got the sensation of like scale.
Sure.
I did, however, I actually found it easier like docking with space stations.
Okay.
With the Oculus, and I think that's because I could see the depth much clearer.
Yep.
Like I could more easily see how far from a wall I am away.
You brought up earlier today, we really didn't see much VR at E3 this year.
Yeah, I thought that was quite interesting because this is the year that VR launched.
Yep.
And there was not really much VR at E3.
So what does this actually mean? Like, to me, this is an indication that I'm right.
I think it's interesting because like I think it's just nobody quite knows how to use it yet. Like all the stuff that they showed was still just like basically demos, like experiences, and it's like they're still trying to figure out the best way to create games for the thing.
So Vern, you look like you have
I got something. I really think as soon as it hits PlayStation, it's going to explode.
Yeah,
I think because developers know how to get like the hardware, but your everyday guy off on the street who goes into whatever electronics store and picks up whatever.
Yeah,
he doesn't have these options, and the software is not great on PC as well.
Yeah,
like
not great.
It looks like PlayStation actually has a huge push in VR right now.
I think you're right. Like just having it be able to plug into your PlayStation and work is huge. Like
when I say explode, I mean I think there will be some kind of, you'll definitely hear about it from like average people.
But do you think, for example, when it hits PlayStation, the next E3 after that is going to be like, and here's all the VR games that are coming?
I think it'll be very much like the Nintendo Wii, and it'll be this thing of, it's this new experience.
A few first-party developers making stuff, and that's about it.
Well, you already have that now.
Right.
But it'll be a thing of, hey, have you played on this thing yet? Just with everyday people, and then that will fade away, and then people will just realize, oh, actually, I had this wicked story experience on the TV.
Yeah.
and you can watch me play through this.
Yeah, I don't know. To me, this sounds like you said that right now most of the things coming out are demos, and there's some games coming out for PlayStation. But to me, what it sounds like is there is this issue of what is this actually good for? It's good for first-person games that really don't require a lot of movement.
Yeah,
and that is a very small niche. It's a very small target to hit, and there's only a few things you can currently that I can think of that you can really like do in an engaging and long-lasting way in that medium.
I think VR is it. I think it'll stay in video games, but I think it has more applications outside of it.
Yes, I agree.
And in museums, for example, just like virtual tourism.
Yep.
Oh man, yeah, that would get like museum exhibitions about like the barbarians taking over Rome or something.
Yeah,
and you can be there and see it, and it's.
So I see VR taking off in those areas.
There's also like I've seen there's like VR locations where you can go and you put on your VR stuff and they've got like an actual built with wood and whatever like maze. The VR skins it in ways and adds enemies and all sorts of stuff. And like that's an interesting application to me. Like imagine playing super paintball style sort of thing where like you're all your friends are in spacesuits and you're in a space station. Your enemy team looks like aliens, and that's a cool application.
Cool. Yeah, laser force with
where
VR
there are
headsets.
real obstacles that you can see and sense in front of you, and they look different in the VR headset, but you can touch them and stuff. That I think is a good application.
Would that be more augmented reality then?
Yeah, that's probably closer to augmented reality.
So you're still seeing the outside world. It's just over like textured in a certain way.
Yeah. Or I mean, I think the way they currently are doing it is that the software just maps to a real world location.
Oh, okay, so it just knows where you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think those are to me the strongest applications, like the simulation and the augmented reality sort of event style play as opposed to like at home.
Yeah. Yeah, like that's the thing. There are very, very few games that I would be interested in like using VR for, and like Elite Dangerous is one of those games. Like it's perfect because you're just sitting there and and
I'll tell you what would be really cool. That there's that CryEngine game. I forget who's making it. It's a very well known studio. They're making I think it's something Robinson. It's that one with dinosaurs.
Oh, what?
Do you know the one I'm talking about?
Ark.
No, they actually look good. And it's made in CryEngine. There's Robertson in the title. And anyway,
Robinson Crusoe on Dinosaur Island.
Yeah, but it's a PlayStation game, and I think all the things that you want, like that scale reference, looking up at dinosaurs and things like that, I think that would be awesome.
Yeah.
So I think that
that was part of the problem, though, right? If when you have something for a reference and that gives you a frame of like a sense of how you're moving, you do get that disconnect between I'm not actually moving, despite the fact that my visual senses tell me that I am.
Oh, but it would be the same thing as when you were docking in the spaceship.
Yeah, I mean the feeling of like scale and being there overwhelms any sort of like weirdness your body has for what I should be moving. Why am I not moving?
Okay, cool.
But I think just looking up at dinosaurs would be cool.
Yeah,
like
that'd be cool.
Yeah, just looking at dinosaurs, man.
Right?
Yeah.
Just go to a museum.
Who doesn't want to look at a dinosaur?
Yeah.
Dude, you could. Oh man, what if you like talking about your the augmented reality like paintball, right?
Oh, if you go to the museum and instead of having an audio tour, you have an audio-visual tour.
Well,
and, like,
yes,
you can
but
see,
also you go to a museum and you see like the skeletons of the dinosaurs,
and
you put on the headset, and then it's just skinned, and you're like, whoa.
That would be great. That's exactly what I was thinking of as well. Yeah.
But also something about something I found interesting that I didn't expect with Elite Dangerous. In the game, there are these. There are like your menus in the cockpit. You access by like looking at them. And in the without the VR, there's like shortcuts that will just automatically turn your head, kind of thing. But yeah, in VR, you just turn your head and look in that direction, and this menu pops up.
Yeah.
When I was playing without the VR, I suddenly started moving my head to access these menus because it was so much faster than the way to do it with the controller. Yeah, and I was like, VR, man.
With the VR headset, are you bummed out that it's not tracking your eye movement?
Um,
Do you know what I mean? Like you're actually having to tilt your head instead of like gazing off to the corner.
The field of view was large enough, I think, that it didn't really. It didn't feel like I was running out of like space to look at things.
Okay.
Like I felt like turning my head was natural.
Yeah.
But I can see where you're going with that.
Yeah. Was that a little off-putting, or
I didn't have a problem with it. Like the menus. I mean, if you're talking about the like just eyeballing a menu and having it pop up, like the way Elite Dangerous is set up, that those menus are so far to the sides that you do need to turn your head anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
But I was definitely like piloting along, looking out the window to where I'm going, and like glancing down, not moving my head.
Yeah.
Like looking at like the radar or whatever.
So we have one question from. I'm going to move on to questions.
Okay.
We have a question from Facebook, correct?
Yep.
Do you remember who?
I think this was from Brandon.
Yes, I've got it in front of me, in fact. Okay, so this is the question from Brandon via Facebook. By the way, you can ask us questions on Facebook, facebook.com/frontseatcast. You can also tweet at us at frontseatcast or email your questions at frontseatquestions@gmail.com. So this is from Brandon. One of my friends recently went and played the original BioShock, having never played it before, and loved it. He asked me why he hadn't ever played it before. My question stems from that. What games have you heard were good but never played until years later and truly enjoyed without the nostalgia glasses, and even with the game having aged by the time you got around to it? I'll start.
Yep.
System Shock 2.
Right.
That came out in 99, 98, 97, around there. I played it in 2009. So it was very old by the time I got around to it.
The graphics didn't put you off?
I mean, it was not good looking.
Yeah.
But it had some really cool stuff, and I really liked it.
Could you see where like BioShock?
Oh yes, absolutely.
Was,
yeah, you could definitely see the BioShock lineage there.
Cool.
In fact, BioShock I think I played several years after the fact.
Yeah, same with me actually.
So I really enjoyed both of those.
Did you see that there's a System Shock Kickstarter that I think they've got a level in there that's
yeah, I heard something
like
about System Shock's coming back.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah.
Is it System Shock or System Shock 2?
I think it's System Shock
2 is the one.
Is it the good one?
People actually fondly remember.
Oh wow, okay.
System Shock was like a sort of point-and-click adventure game.
Oh really? Oh, maybe it was System Shock 2 then, because they were talking about walking around a space station and looking out windows and seeing planets and stuff. And yeah.
System Shock 2 is the one with Shodan. Shodan is the sort of original angry game AI.
Right.
The GLaDOS before GLaDOS.
Whoa. Interesting you say GLaDOS, because Portal is my...
That's an example of when you played after the fact?
Yeah, I remember always hearing about how amazing Portal was, but I never played it, I think because I was just a poor student at the time.
Right.
And years later, I actually have a list of games that I feel I should play, and Portal was on it.
Yeah.
And so I played Portal like years after, and I was like, damn, this game is
really good.
Really good. Yeah, really good. Yeah. And it was funny because I was discouraged from playing it because a mate of mine was like, no, I don't get that. I hear it's really short and there's no multiplayer. I was like, oh, okay.
Well,
cool.
This is why you should never have friends.
Yeah. But yeah, that's a great game.
Saveun?
I can't think of a game.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I played BioShock years after, and being really amazed at that water.
Yeah, the water effects in that game are great.
But I haven't gone back and played video games.
Here's another one. Super Mario Galaxy 2. I played that last Christmas. I think it came out 5 years ago? No, couldn't be. No, probably about 5 years ago.
Was it?
4 or 5 years ago, yeah. And that game is a masterpiece. Yeah, it just in terms of I may have talked about this before, that in terms of like the way they can so quickly and succinctly communicate a mechanic to the player, is amazing. Like, there's as an example, there's a part in the game where you have to basically coax these like giant metal balls into a hole. I think that in fact they're chain chomps without the chains. They're in the chain chomp factory. And
they're made in a factory?
Yeah, or on a planet, something. At least in the context of this game. And you have to try and get them into a hole that's like far away from this sort of track that they follow, and they sort of blow up when they hit obstacles. And in about 5 seconds, they teach you everything you need to know about time switches.
That's great.
And you use that knowledge that you learned in 5 seconds in a whole bunch of different ways. It's really, really, really clever, and you learn it without even realizing you're learning it.
Damn.
I remember hearing about like some of the more recent Final Fantasies where like 8 hours into the game, new mechanics are still being like shown up on screen in a text box.
Yeah, it's amazing when you play something with like really, really elegant teaching.
Yeah.
And then you do like it's
to go to a game that is like here's a text box.
Socket it. Like okay.
Did they teach you how to half A press? Is it a half A press?
Oh man.
Oh man.
Can you do that in Galaxy, or is that just Mario 64?
If you wanted to do the zero jump challenge, you could probably do some stuff in there. Yeah, probably.
What's your best speed run on Mario Galaxy?
Long.
6 months.
I've only beaten it once, so I don't know, several dozen hours.
I'm sure I have other games like that, but I can't think of any.
I bet the Nintendo games are a really good source for that. Like, even if you played Super Mario World at this point, you're probably going to have a really good time. And that's a Super Nintendo game, so that's like, 20, 25 years old. All right. I think we're out of time. Blake's coughing.
Yep.
We would love to hear more questions. Like I said, email us, frontseatquestions@gmail.com. Tweet at FrontSeatCast. Facebook is facebook.com/FrontSeatCast. We also have a website, frontseatgamer.wordpress.com. I keep forgetting to look at it.
It looks fantastic.
Yeah?
Blake
I
worked his magic on there.
Yeah.
He's
Great.
crying now. He's
I'm
so
crying.
emotional.
I'm sorry. Is
so
he
happy.
crying because I haven't looked at it?
Yes.
Have I upset you? I'm so sorry.
Why don't you like anything I do, Nick?
Because you don't do a good job. All right. We'll be back in a couple weeks. See ya.
See you.
See ya. Gamer Ghoulies episode 2.
Do you remember what you pitched? Feature creeps?
Yeah, Feature Creeps is a great name.
Yeah.
I stand by that.
So bad. I was
Not
reading
Gamer
the thing.
Ghoulies,
I was
come
reading
on.
the thing, and like I had to go back a year, like going through the chat. I was like, I know it's here somewhere. I know it's here.
Feature Creeps is
And I
still
was
a
like,
great name.
Feature
I'm
Creeps,
sorry.
and you were like, yeah, because like we're 3 like creeps. We're the creeps.
Yeah, it's great. It's hilarious. Anyway, here we go. You just
Welcome to
don't. You
Feature
just gotta
Creeps.
embrace your inner creep. Okay. Are you restarting the timer?
Yep, you good. Roll.
Hey, welcome. Oh my God.
Sorry.
Fuck you, Saveun.
What did you do?
Didn't roll.
All right. Hey.
All right, we're ready.
I quit. Do your own podcast. Okay, ready?
All right, for real.
Hey, welcome to episode 39. God damn it.
You gotta keep this.
No, I haven't just do anything.
You were like, hey, welcome to episode 39 of Front Seat Gamer. I'm Nick. I'm here with Saveun.
Hey, Nick.
And Blake.
Hey.
And what the fuck was Oh, God damn it. Jesus Christ. This is take 74. And hey, welcome to episode 39 of Front Seat Gamer. I'm Nick. I'm here with Saveun. Hey.